All right, Jason, welcome to another episode of Shed Talk.
Yep.
Tonight our topics are...
We've got three again this week, 5 minutes for each topic. So we're talking about generations.
Generations, yeah, definitely.
We've also got on the list there, is sport going soft?
Definitely.
And something that you're really passionate about.
Reality TV.
Reality TV. All right, so as per usual, we have three topics, 5 minutes per topic. Let's get into the first one.
All right, Jace, set the timer for 5 minutes. Our first topic tonight is generations.
All right, timer is away. All right, go.
So obviously we're Gen X. So I was 79. When are you born?
72.
72.
Yep.
So what I wanted to bring up, like when I was growing up, we went through that sort of recession, late 80s, early 90s, where Australia stopped, mate. Like interest rates were 17%. A lot of small businesses shut down. And it was hard times. Compared to the Gen Z, which is...
So it goes boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z.
Okay,
today.
so Gen Z's the latest ones, right? So they're all probably 13, 14, little tackers coming through school. They probably haven't seen hard times yet. If they want those new pair of shoes, they get them. Mum and Dad both work. Money's pretty good in Australia at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Money is cheap, let's be honest. We're at 1.9% interest rate
Yep.
on home loans. Money's cheap. What happens when, one, interest rates go up, two, house prices are through the roof? Try and buy a house in Sydney or Melbourne, good luck, people. Where do these kids go in 5, 6 years' time when they're coming out of school, they're getting jobs, they want to buy a house? Are you scared for this next generation?
Well, yeah, look, I'd caveat the first thing, say they haven't been through hard times. They're actually going through, right, like Australia's first recession in many
But
years.
have we really felt it?
No, well, look, yeah, yes and no, right? I mean, we're pretty fortunate that we're still being employed. There are a lot of people in certain industries who have been impacted, and I know, we don't want to date or time the show, but people in Sydney, 7-week lockdown, some of those guys are only getting, $600, $700 a week.
How do you think they're going, living on that, when we waste so much food, we throw things away, we don't try and repair anything? You know, you look now, if someone breaks their pair of shoes, they don't go and try and glue them back together with Tarzan grip, do they?
No, we're definitely in a throwaway society. But I mean, back to your point, I just wanted to just finish on that one.
Yeah.
Is I think the current generations, like all of us, are going through challenges, right? So it's not all smooth sailing. But yeah, back to your point, where are they going to be? I think they're still going to be at home. I think we're going into a generational transition where our kids of today are going to be living with us as parents far longer than we probably did. I don't know about you, but I think I was out of home at 16.
Yeah, I was about 20. Well, I think I hadn't even turned 21.
Yeah, so I had a job, I was working, I was renting, living with my brother. So self-sufficient, affordability was great back then.
Yes.
We're in a situation that I could do that and get out and experience the world. But yeah, it's going to be tough for our kids today. House prices, even through what we're going through with COVID, record low interest rates, which means money's cheap.
Your money is cheap.
But yeah, the house prices just keep going up and up and up.
And I think that comes from overseas investors that are buying up in Australia, because we're not that populated for our landmass, really, are we? So you still can get that block 700-800 square meters. You come from somewhere like China or places like that where they're literally living in pigeonholes. They're cashed up. They're getting over here and they're buying up in Sydney, and $1 million for them is not much. Yeah. Where the people at the backbone of Australia, which is now us, mate, we struggle to buy $1 million property. I couldn't afford $1 million property.
No, I don't think many can, unless you're basically going to have generational debt. Like you'll pass your debt on to your kids.
Yeah. Which they do in Europe, right?
And I don't think there's many international people coming in and buying up land at the moment because of restrictions, unless they can buy, over a virtual tour of a house and work around. But I think what we're seeing, particularly here in Queensland, is people moving out of Sydney and out of Melbourne.
Definitely.
Right, so interstate migration is effectively driving Queensland prices up.
That's right.
It always has.
Well, it did that in the early 2000s. Yep. My family moved up. Some of my dad's family moved up, and they bought a house at Kingston for $90,000.
Yep.
They sold their house in Faulkner for $300,000.
Yeah.
So they moved up here, bought a house, debt free, $200,000 in the bank.
Yeah, but you think about it, in a city, Brisbane, I think the median house price is approaching $1 million, right? So even though interest rates are low, think about this: if you need a 20% deposit, right, you've got to save $200,000 to get into that house. I paid 179,000 house and land in '99 for my house, right?
Yep.
People today have to save a deposit
Of that.
of more than that.
Yeah.
Just to have the deposit to then get into a million. Now, mind you, that's if you want to live in the city. You know, you can choose obviously to live regional and other options. But yeah, man, I think you're right. It's going to be tough for those different generations. But you know, as far as being a throwaway society and the kids having everything, I think you're right. We, you know, used to just get a pair of sneakers a year and we wear them until, you know, maybe replace the laces and the sides fell out.
I remember getting the phone books with Tarzan Grip and gluing them back together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because that's what you had to do.
Well, that's our 5 minutes up. But yeah, man, like it wouldn't be unsurprising today that if you go into a kid's bedroom, it's probably got like 6 pairs of $200 to $300 pair of basketball shoes on the shelf.
I know, right? It's disgusting. Grow up, kids.
All right, well, thanks for joining us on that topic. Let's move on to the next one. All right, Glenn, so let's move on to our second topic of the discussion, and it is sport going soft. Do you want to lead us off?
Most definitely it's going soft. I mean,
5
just
minutes.
just jump on if you don't think it is going soft, jump onto YouTube, type in 1980s hits in AFL or NRL, and have a look how dirty the players were.
Yep.
And they were playing for less than wages. They had jobs, you know.
Well, it's actually funny. I grew up in Melbourne. My dad was in the Air Force, so we travelled around a lot. And the captain of the Geelong football side was my grade 1 primary school teacher.
There you go.
Right,
exactly.
so it was quite funny. We'd get out on the oval, and being a small, state school, he could kick the length of the oval in a single kick, and we thought it was amazing. But every weekend, he's out there playing football.
Professional athlete.
Which people are basically doing as a full-time job now. But yeah, and then during the week, he was a mild-mannered primary school teacher.
So when was that, Jay? So it was probably in the 80s, early 80s? When were you born? 72?
Yeah, 72, so it would have been late 70s, maybe 78, 79, on the 80 changeover.
Let's fast forward 40 years.
Yep.
These players now are getting over $1 million a season. It's business. It's solely business. Is business making sport soft?
I don't know what's making sport soft. I don't know if it's injuries in schools and then expectations, in community pushed onto our elite athletes. But look, just go and look at State of Origin when that used to be played at Lane Park. The hits then, those guys, you had your Artie Beetsons and
Alan Langer,
all of those boys there, right?
Absolutely.
Wally Lewis, those guys, and Guy. And I used to just remember punching on, the fights. The hits were hard.
Yeah.
Right now in the NRL, as in recent times, they introduced these rules like somebody just gets a knock on the head.
Yeah.
Unintentional. And then the player who actually made that impact was sin-binned.
Yeah, I know.
Or sent off. Like, you're sitting there going, look, I totally get malicious acts and the codes trying to make it a family-friendly game and protect players.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
You can tell when something's unintentional. So to be imposing those sort of restrictions on, accidental contact, I think it's just going way too far.
I think the speed of the games now, NRL, AFL, it's a lot faster. The players are fitter. They're elite athletes, so things happen faster.
Yeah, so, like our cricketers too. Well, David Boone used to drink a carton of
30-something stubbies.
Exactly. Legendary stuff, and they used to smoke and drink beer and everything, and then go out and play cricket. Right? So we've got professional athletes now. So these guys are on the top of their game.
And I think it comes down to corporate sponsors now as well, because if you've got a corporate sponsor throwing in millions of dollars into a club, they're paying their star player. And then he gets taken out by an elbow and breaks an eye socket. They still have to pay him that money, right?
Yeah.
Even if he's not playing. So he's still going to get his 50 grand a week or whatever it might be to play footy, but he's not playing. So it's a business thing now. It's these guys they're basically workers.
Yeah, but we've also seen,
and
I get that, right? But look at the AFL recently. So my son plays AFL, right? And you played AFL.
Yeah.
We're seeing things now that he showed me recently on YouTube. Some of these tackles, which I look at and go, well, that's a tackle.
Yeah,
he's grabbed the guy and maybe rolled him over to, as they've gone to ground, or one guy sort of running as he's defending, he's sort of putting his arm up, makes it accidental contact. They're getting rubbed out for a week or so.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
Come on. Like I said, I totally get malicious acts of lifting players and driving and
or you're punching someone in the head like a Barry Hall on a West Coast player where he fully clean knocked him out. I don't know if you remember that. That's malicious.
Yeah,
that's just battery.
We're just in a situation now where our players holding off on attacking the ball? Are they holding off on attacking a player? Because I mean, how many times do you see in AFL and NRL and a lot of other sports, when a player's running, they start to lower, right? And if you're coming at that height and then the player drops and you take their head off, you're supposed to anticipate that guy was going to drop and you've got to go with them. I think there's got to be a judgment call, and I just think that it's gone too much on the side of, you're out, too harsh, right? I think there needs to be a bit of, common sense come back in the game and go, let them play the game that they're paid millions to do, right? And if someone does something malicious,
then you rub them out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. And I think the AFL and NRL in particular are probably going to lose spectators due to these rules, because people just go, it's not even football anymore. You might as well watch, touch football or netball, or you know what I mean? It's just changing the game.
Look at it at school sports. So we've literally had rugby. AFL was introduced into my kid's school, but it's touch rugby.
Really?
It's basically, you got two ribbons on the side. You're not allowed to tackle. You've got to pull the ribbons, like the tags off the side, right? Rugby was basically banned in a lot of schools, and I know there were some pretty serious injuries and that, people's necks, etc. But I think maybe it's coming from these codes want to pick up, through the junior ranks.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, they've had to change the elite level. Anyway, another 5 minutes up on that one. I don't think we're going to solve the one on that one, but I think you and I both agree that we want to just see some, a little bit of aggro back in the footy.
No, not the biff, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Play hard and play fair, right? And stop rubbing people out for minor infringements. All right, let's move on to number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, Glenn, something I know that you're passionate about.
Absolutely. I want to audition for one of these.
Oh, I thought you'd fall asleep in front of many of these. Reality TV, 5 minutes on the clock, starting now.
I'd go on Big Brother.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? And that's pretty out there, but I would. I just think I've had such a journey in life that I think I could contribute to that now.
Right.
And I'd have that older mindset to see through bullshit people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably would go on something like that. It's just a 12 weeks away from work. That would probably kill me.
Wow, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, really? I mean, I'm going to get like you just said, you'd add value to that. But what's the point? You're in a house with other people. What are you there to prove?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just sharing your journey and sharing your life experiences with other people. And I know you might say, well, you can do that at a bar or at the TED Shed. That's cool. But
create a YouTube channel.
Create a YouTube
There's
channel.
an outlet for you?
Yeah, I know.
Is this reality TV? That's probably a question. No, it's not.
Maybe not. No. But it's more just, I don't know, I think it's cool, like it's not about, for me it wouldn't be about getting famous or anything like that. Like, I'd like some money at the end of it. You go and win 250 grand, that's a big chunk off your mortgage, and I think that's good. But there are some reality TV shows that I disagree with.
Right. So what's the difference? So let's look at The Bachelor, right?
That's something
The Bachelor.
He kisses everyone, mate. In the first 5 minutes, he's patched all of them.
You wouldn't mind being a bachelor, though, right?
I don't know. Have you seen the latest one?
No,
anyway,
I don't watch reality TV.
Yeah.
But look, so my take on it is The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. From my understanding, a lot of those are scripted. These dates go on for hours. Producers pull them aside, talk through this, right? So much of it's staged and controlled.
Of course.
The fights are fake. I heard recently ABC was talking about some people who'd been on Married at First Sight. The stress and the trauma. They've actually got psychologists on the sets of these things, so they know the damage that these shows are controlling.
Yeah.
Once again, the producers control the narrative. So it's not really reality TV, right? It's just trash TV in my mind. I can't think of many reality shows. I mean, I'm just over the block. Good concept originally, but come on now. What you're building multi-billion-dollar apartments, right? $1 million apartments.
Yeah.
And you're putting people under pressure. I wouldn't buy one of those properties.
No way. You can't do a bathroom in 3 days, people.
No, so that's exactly. Let's flip this place. Let's turn this lounge room around. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You got to just wonder, what's the quality of work like? And I think some of those shows, like The Block, is more about the bloody foreman and the host than it is about the contestants.
Of course it is. They're big names, like we spoke about a couple of weeks ago. They have these big names. Who do I forgot? It might have been.
Scotty Cam is one on.
That's a big
on The
name on Channel
Exactly.
9. Is it 9? I don't even know what it is. Anyway.
Yeah, the block on there.
The block is on 9,
Yep.
right? So yeah, they have these people, and it is about them, mate. And it's about because people love Scotty Camp, you know.
Of course they do.
But
And look, originally I used to enjoy that show because of renovating tips, and you go, oh, I get that. It's not about that anymore. It's turned into just this, contrived drama. Oh, this team against that team, and oh, you're putting a pool in that's against the rules. We're going to complain, or you're,
Yeah.
seriously, I can't get that. I can't like I said, The Bachelor. Only reality TV show I do like is Survivor.
Yeah.
And because I look at that as it's not reality TV, it's a game show.
Yeah.
Right? It's like almost like obstacle courses and
Yeah, it's survival.
Well, exactly right. And I mean, yeah, they're living in the bush and the film crews are there and they've got medics and everything else like that. There's probably some sort of control. But at the end of the day, they're challenges and people. It's a game show is the way I look at Survivor. But all this other reality TV stuff, like MasterChef.
Oh, dude.
I
can't watch it.
Celebrity this and house rules.
Yeah.
Like, you're serious? I can't get into it.
And it's all filmed. It's all pre-filmed, obviously. And let me tell you a bit of a story about Survivor. I used to have a housemate, Mark, and me and him used to watch Survivor together. Loved it. Anyway, I did work at this house. Sorry, we're getting a bit off topic.
No, all right.
I did work at this house, and it was a nurse from a Brisbane hospital, and she had the contestant in from Survivor.
Right.
Under anaesthetic, he told her who won.
Right.
And who comes second. So I've come over to Mark and said, right, the new series of Survivor, let's pick 2 people, have a $100 bet.
And you've taken advantage.
I've taken the top 2. These
Inside.
guys are out in the first 6 weeks and I won $100.
But how do they do that? Because I thought on Survivor is they cast the votes at the end.
I know, I picked top 2.
Right, so you know who was the top 2.
I didn't know who won.
Then they
Sorry.
actually come back and do the
That's
reveal
right. That's
live.
right. But I knew who the top 2 were going to
Yeah.
be. So I said, how about you try and pick the top 2, or if you get one person, whoever wins will get the money.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story, right?
Stitched it up. But so we know with those shows, right, when they get evicted, they actually, because I've been over to Fiji where they filmed one of the locations, and it's literally a resort, and then just down the road is where they were. So everyone who got evicted had to go back and stay at the resort.
So they can't talk.
So it's not like they're back home 5 minutes. They're not back home, and that person was out because I've seen in the community. Everyone goes and basically just parties at the resort until they all come back together, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, look, mate, I don't get it. I'm not a fan of reality TV. I just can't stomach it.
The scary thing is, Jace, it's been around for over 20 years now.
Oh, it's cheap. I reckon that's why they do it. It's send a
it's not
cameraman
going
in,
anywhere.
put a few people together. Production value. It's easier than building sets and building
Yeah,
scripts.
it's not a country practice.
No, bring back a country practice. There we go. The 2021 edition of a country practice.
I think Fatso might be dead by now.
We'll get a new Fatso.
All right. All right, Jay, so that's Shed Talk for another week. Our 3 topics are done and dusted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's us for another week.
Yeah.
So, as we always say, look, like and comment, share our content and get involved in the conversation. Make sure that you let us know what you want us to talk about, because we're just 2 buffheads here trying to come up with ideas to entertain you. We want to get you involved, and you can do that by letting us know, exactly what you want us to talk about. So until next time, see ya.
So, yeah.